My god, what's this? 2 Sherry streams in one day? No way, that's crazy. Hi. Hello. It's working this time. Great. So, I apologize for being late. I had some things I was dealing with, and then I ended up with more things than I expected. I'll give a minute for people to filter back in, since I had to end the stream and restart it. But we are in fact live again, and everything seems to be working correctly. Let me switch over to this. We're on Brigmore Witches, and that will take us to a new main menu. There we go. Okay. So basically, I got a new GPU on Thursday. For anyone who doesn't know, Vi kindly sent me her GPU because she's upgraded to a newer, better one. And this was still an upgrade over what I had, so she very kindly sent it to me for a very low price for what it's worth. And I'm very thankful to her for that. But I had some time to set that up. Since it arrived on Thursday, I had Thursday, Friday to set it up, and that's all good. It was all good and working. I had a little bit of the troubleshooting to do, but I got it all working, right? Then today, a bracket came for it. Basically, it's a chunky ass boy. My previous card was already pretty big. It was a 3-fan one. And this one dwarfs it. It's a 3 slot with 3 fans, and it's way bigger than the previous one, and it is heavy. So it has a bit of GPU sag, which you would expect. You know, Vi's been using it for a few years. It makes sense. A GPU that heavy will get kind of saggy with age. But it's not amazing to have GPU sag, both aesthetically and because it can eventually lead to damage on the GPU if it's left unchecked. So I didn't want to leave it unchecked, and I got a support bracket for it. And I'm normally the type of person where I'm like, I think stuffing RGB into literally everything and calling it gamer is dumb. But I have to admit, I got an RGB bracket. And that feels like the most stupid one to put RGB in. It's a support bracket to keep the GPU from sagging. It's a chunk of metal that just holds it up. That's all it is, that's all it does. It shouldn't have any electronic parts. I bought an LED one. Now, the reason I did that is there is actually a reason. So I was going to get the pure white one without the LEDs, but that was actually more expensive than the RGB version. So I saved money, and also the graphics card, both my old graphics card and this new one, I'm having issues with the lights on it, where one of the lights on this new card only does red. The light on the front has a slightly yellowish tint, so it's a little off color. My previous one was very yellowish. It would suck at doing blue. And it's another thing that kind of happens with age. Especially with more recent cards. For some reason you'd think they get better, but no, recent cards have had this problem a bit more with the RGB just discoloring. It happens because the blue LED uses more power, being a higher wavelength, therefore it burns out faster. And if you have any kind of problems with the power going in, that can also cause it, because the blue one's needs the most power. So the red and green might work better. Red is the lowest power, green is in the middle. So you can end up with blue not working properly, but red and green do, so you end up with a yellow. Or you can end up with blue not working very well at all, green working a little, and then red working perfectly, and you end up kind of tinted towards red. It's a thing. The reason I'm waffling about that, though, is because the GPU is discolored. So I got an RGB bracket so that it would add a bit of color for the GPU. It's technically just below the GPU, but it's in the GPU region. It would add that color while color matching the rest of it better, so I can turn the LEDs on the GPU off if I want to and still have RGB there. So as dumb as it is to have RGB on a freaking support bracket, it actually was kind of useful to me in this case. So, you know. But that arrived today, and I was installing it about half an hour before stream, which shouldn't have been a problem, because it should be a 5-minute job. But as with anything with computers, nothing's ever a 5-minute job. Anything you think is a 5-minute job takes 10 times longer. Which happened with installing the GPU, and it happened with this bracket. I had a whole faff on with, I don't know what you call them, but the little plates for the, I was looking at the GPU and it lost tracking, sorry. With the little plates that cover up the expansion slots on the case. I don't know what they're called, but those kept falling out. I need them in, then the bracket on top of them, and then the screw to go through both. And there's 3 of those little slots, the little covers, 1 bracket and 3 screws. But they just kept falling, no matter how many times I tried to get that bracket in there, and I was holding them up. They kept falling down and misaligning and trying to get the screw in through like all 3 things, the case, the cover, and the bracket. It was a nightmare, and it was terrible. And then I had to do cable management, which wasn't that bad, but I fucked it up slightly. So then I didn't fuck it up that much, but it wasn't as tidy as it could have been. So then I had to take it back out to redo it again, tidier. And then I realized there was a less stupid way of doing that I kind of did, and it was a mess. But I got that working, and believe it or not, there was actually no like troubles with it once it was installed. It's fine, nothing is wrong with it. I did have to do a little tweaking so that it didn't touch the fans, but thankfully this bracket is kind of smart, because you can take the little bit that actually touches the GPU and you can unscrew it and put it on the other side. So it's now on the front side facing me instead of the back side facing like the motherboard, which just puts it slightly further out, which is perfect because it touches the GPU without having to bend the bracket and without touching the fans. And it's perfect, and it's sorted, and it's good, and it's holding it up well. Fantastic. Amazing, right? And then I was like gonna be more or less on time for stream. It was like exactly 5, but all I had to do was like run and grab a drink and stuff and then start stream. Then fantastic things happened. NVIDIA Broadcast stopped working because I have a new GPU and it needed updating for the new GPU. But rather than upgrading just like itself, rather than just updating itself, I had to re-download it and then update it and then override everything. And halfway through that, my internet died while it was downloading the update. So I had to switch to mobile data, which was slow as shit. Then my internet came back, so I switched back to my faster internet, but it reset it again. It failed like twice. It failed once when the internet died, and the second time when I switched back to my better internet once it came back. So then I had to install it a 3rd time, and then I got that working, and then stream fucking like wasn't working properly. And I know why. It's because of NVIDIA Broadcast. So the NVIDIA Broadcast adds an I guess you could call them like virtual inputs or whatever. It adds like a virtual input of the microphone, a virtual output of the speaker, and a virtual input of the camera. But something about the speaker one fucked up the like game recognition in OBS. And I don't know why, but I had to restart stream. So that was fun. So what was supposed to be a 5-minute job turned into a lot more than a 5-minute job. And now I'm like over half an hour late. I'm actually 45 minutes late. So things are going well. Also, Chatterinos, I found something out. I was slightly dumb. Well, I think the motherboard manufacturer was dumb, but I will admit I was slightly dumb. So when I played Dead by Daylight last stream, I thought my RAM was going to explode because there was a red light above the RAM. Turns out, or above where it says RAM, or below where it says RAM. It says RAM next to that light, right? It turns out the labels for the lights don't line up with the lights. They're in the correct order, but the wrong place. So they're essentially all like grouped up near the first light when they should be spread out across all four. So it looks like CPU is before the actual light. RAM is directly above the light. VGA is between the first and second light, and then boot is on the second light. So it turns out the issue was not my RAM, it was my CPU. And I don't know if anything's actually wrong with it. I've had that light come on 2 more times. One when the integrated graphics was updating, blah blah blah, while I was messing around with the GPU. And then 2 more times while launching Cyberpunk to test the new GPU, and it's only happening in loading screens. I don't know if there's anything actually wrong or if that light just means it's doing something. And nobody is ever able to give me an answer so far. I asked Reddit, nobody's responded. I've searched Google, can't find this exact problem. So, normally, if that light's coming on, it means there's an issue, there's an error of some sort. Normally, some sort of hardware error. However, since it's only coming on during loading screens, and I'm having no issues, nothing is running badly, nothing is crashing, my computer's not turning itself off, I've had 0 issues other than that light coming on. I think it's trying to tell me that the CPU is, like, doing something? I think? Probably? Like, particularly, I guess, loading, having, like, hitches, or, like, being less optimized or whatever, it might be kinda not great. But, I don't know. So far, there's been no problem. If it dies, I have a warranty, but I hope it doesn't, because that would be a fucking pain in my ass. But nobody's been able to answer my question about what that's about. So, yeah, I don't know. So far, it's only happened in 2 games, but they are the more intensive games. As for your other question, what the hell is a bracket? Is it like a piece of metal that supports the GPU? Exactly. So there's different kinds. You can get ones that are literally like a pole with a clip, and they just like are literally a fucking pillar. You know what I can do? Why am I doing it the stupid way when I can just like explain to you what it is properly? Oh god, that's why, because it's going to fucking update. It's fine. We're gonna do web browsing. This one. And then we're gonna go, this is gonna look weird. Give me a second. Not display. Where's window capture? There it is. Amp drawing. We're gonna do a heckin' paint. We're gonna do a heckin' paint. Don't mind me. Just gonna reappear. Give me a second. Yep, there I'll do. Okay. I'm gonna explain to you the brackets. So you've got computer, and you're like, give me red. I want red for this, and I want it to be thicker. So you've got your computer, and you're like, boom, boom. There's your case, right? And then you've got your GPU, and it's like, wow, GPU here. But there's a problem, because your GPU is doing a heckin' wham. I mean, it's not that severe, but it's like this corner is coming down. It's sagging, and we can't see it. What the fuck? Why can't you see it? What? Why can't you see it? Okay, new plan. Fuck this one. We're doing display capture, so I can dox myself. Display capture. Yes, let me studio mode this actually. Does this display capture? Yup. Yep. Sure. Yeah, I think that would work. Let me move that down under me, and now you can see it. And I'm slightly doxing myself, but it's fine. I don't think I'm actually doxing myself. I don't think there's anything doxing. But yes, so I was saying, you have a GPU, right? Here's your GPU. But there's a problem. This corner keeps, like, sagging, because it's held by, like, a slot here and the little bracket bit here. So this corner is completely unsupported and it keeps falling. So what do you do about that? Well, you could get a little thing that's like boom, 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 and then it has a pole, and then you put a clip on the pole. It's like boom, and it holds up the GPU. It should be touching it, boom, and that holds it up. So you can do that. That's an option, but that's kind of ugly. And also, I have fans there. I've got fans like all across this bottom part, so I can't put that there because it will be in a fan. So what I did instead was with my funky ass fans here, I got a bracket that connects to like the same part as this. So you've got like boom, and it's like that's terrible. Boom, and then you've got this, and this like screws in, wham, wham. That connects to the GPU stuff, right? So then I have another one, and it's like boom, 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 and it connects to there, and then it's like boom, and it looks cooler than this, but like it's basically this, right? But then the one that I got has like a slit along here, and then it has a clip that you can slide, so that it's like boom, 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 and then that changes height, and you can like put it up to like touch the GPU, right? But the problem was that was in the fan, so I had to switch it around and put it on the other way, so it's like the front side of it, boom, and it touches it. And you can slide it along like that way and the other way, or you can put it like up and down. But basically, that's what I have, and then it's got RGB, so I can go fucking boom and just have like lights across there, and a couple lights like boom, boom, and that's basically what's going on in my computer right now. Hope that makes sense to you all. But yeah, I've basically just got one of these to hold it. You can get different types. Another way of dealing with it is to take your cables and just like essentially you have two cables or sometimes three, mine is three, that go in here, and you could, right? So mine are wrapped underneath, and they are thick ass boys, that go like down here and connect into a bit there, right? They're like that. Um, However, you could, if you wanted to be smart about it, run them up, and that way the cables are kind of holding up the GPU a little, to also prevent sag rather than pulling it down. They're pulling it up, which would prevent sag a little. The problem with that is it looks messy as shit. I'd have to route it over the RAM and like past the CPU cooler. I'd have to cross the lines of like the CPU cooler's like liquid tubes, um, and it'd be so messy. So I just didn't do that. I edit it down. But the fun thing about them going down is they cover up this part. This little bracket that I put on the other side looks kind of uggers. But now I have cables that are covering it, so you don't really see it. And then I did a cool thing. I have like, you know those little Velcro cable ties? I put those on there to go boom like that and wrap around it. And then it's got a little symbol on it. And it's like a triangle. Boom. And it looks cool. The cables are resting directly on the lights? What do you mean? No? The cables are going over it. Also, the lights wouldn't heat up enough. The problem that I do have with the cables, actually, now you mention it, is they're touching the fans slightly. They're not touching the actual blades of the fans, but they're touching like the case of the fan, and I don't like that. But I don't have a great way to stop them. Anytime I lift them slightly to like not touch the fan, they just keep like falling back down, well, sinking back down, despite having the tie on them. They don't seem to want to. So I'd need to tie it on the other side to get it somehow taut. But I don't have a good way of doing that. So it is what it is. Gonna give me the dumbest fix imaginable? Yo. Put a pencil between the fan and the cables. See, the problem with that is this PC is very aesthetic. Now, I've built a very aesthetic PC, it's got like a full glass case, like glass on two full sides. It's like a 90-degree corner, and you can see everything, and it's got its RGB. I built it in white and black as well, and white is more expensive than black, by the way. So like, getting the white components cost me even more. Kind of, sort of. I got them on sale, and also some of them cost the same as the black. But generally, you get white text. Yeah, it's very aesthetic. It's very big, but it's very aesthetic. I have posted pictures, not since I got the new GPU out of the bracket, but I have posted pictures in the Discord, and it's a very aesthetic computer, which is great. It's fantastic. Except now I have to have everything be neat and tidy, including my cables, and that is a pain. Also, I've been piecing back together the old PC. I had to take some parts out, the hard drives, the GPU for a while until I got the new one, stuff like that. And I'm putting the old one back together. And I'm realizing it's the worst thing I've ever fucking touched. Well, that's an exaggeration. But it sucks for cable management. There is no room at the back, so I've always just had to like cram the PSU cables in and like squeeze the backplate on, and then it's glass, so I worry about it shattering. But there's nothing I can do about that because there's not enough room, and it's a non-modular PSU, which sucks. There's no room for cable management. Like my new one has these nice slots that let the cables go through, and actual glass or plastic glass, like tempered glass. Yeah, my new one has nice slots for everything to go through. There's plenty of space. There's room around the motherboard and everything. It's wonderful. The new case is amazing. The old case fucking sucks. It is terrible. And I realized another problem is I have a bunch of ARGB fans and stuff in there. That motherboard on the old PC doesn't have an ARGB header. So I have no idea how I got them working before. I know I didn't have them wired correctly. I know it was a total mess. It made cable management a nightmare. But I have like an RGB hub in there, and somehow I got them working before. But it turns out, yeah, I literally don't have the things to connect the fans to the motherboard. So I think I know what I can do, but it means throwing away like half the cables I had randomly connected that I didn't know what they were doing or where they were going, and were probably causing problems. And instead I'm basically just wiring them into an RGB controller, and then wiring the RGB controller into a SATA power and a USB header on the motherboard. And I think that'll work, and that will be slightly less awful cable management than it was before, because the RGB was literally the worst part of the cable management. It should be better, but I had to buy a new splitter because I used the splitter in my new PC. So yeah, it's going. It's going. I've not got the splitter yet. It's probably arriving tomorrow. But I think I got it working. I haven't tested, but I basically unplugged literally everything and spent like most of a day just like plugging everything back in neater. And it's about as neat as I can get it, which is nowhere near as neat as my new one, but is as good as it can be. We'll see how it goes once I have the RGB. I think it should be fine. I think there's only like one cable that needs to come through to the front, and that should be fine. It's just cramming everything in the back. It'll be fine. I need the RGB to work to sell it, because people will want to buy it more if it's got like bright lights and colors. Then like there's another problem with it is I don't have enough USB headers for the RGB. So I have like a Wi-Fi one, the front panel USBs, USB 2.0s, and then the RGB controller. I can only have two of the three. So I'm going to go for Wi-Fi and RGB, because those are selling factors. I don't have to mention if the two fucking USB 2s on the front don't work. And if they take it and turn it on, see it works, and buy it and take it off our hands, then it's already too late for them by the time they find out the USB doesn't work. Um, and let's be honest, you just use the USB 3.0 next to it, or the like 6 slots in the back. But I'm going to scam them a little. Not really. But like the USB headers won't work. And it's a choice. I'm having to make a compromise. They can either have RGB or Wi-Fi or working USB on the front. And they can't have all three. So yeah, I mean I can label it as having Wi-Fi, and that looks good. I can show off it having RGB, and that looks good. But they're never gonna see those USBs. So it's fine. It's fine. I'm tidying it up and I'm getting it all working, and it's fine. Cable management is a lie from Big Corpo to sell those little things that keep cables together. That's where you're wrong. My case came with free cable management things, free cable ties. It came with the plastic type and the Velcro type, and I have just used the Velcro type, and that is working great. Also, like all the stuff that came with cables, so like the PSU, um, the PSU, no, the PSU, the cooler. I don't think the GPU came with any, but like I don't know, all the stuff that did come with it, motherboard, they all come with little, you know, the ones where it's like a tiny metal wire with like a rubber around it, and they just like twist. It all comes with them, so you can use those too. It's just here's the thing: if you're building a computer, um, it's about 10% building the computer, about 50% troubleshooting, and about 40% cable management. So you're spending like 4 times longer just cable managing than actually putting the thing together. And then troubleshooting is a nightmare. You're always having problems that you need to solve when you build a new computer, and it doesn't make sense. Everything's plugged in properly. Why you're not working properly? What is the problem? And yeah, it's great. It's so fun. It's so fun. It's like adult Lego. You get to sit there until your back aches and your legs ache and your neck aches and everything aches and you feel like you're gonna die. And you get to stay up until 4 a.m. building the damn thing. And then you get to like troubleshoot it for hours straight. And then once the whole thing's built and put together, you realize there's something else you need to do. And then you have to undo half your work to do the new thing. And then you got to troubleshoot that. It's great. It's fine. I do enjoy making computers. I actually really do. I think it's very fun. And genuinely, every time I build a computer, I learn something new. Um, which is both a good thing and a bad thing, because it means every time I build a computer, something goes wrong and I have to figure out what the fuck it is. But also, every time I build a computer, I learn things, and that's pretty cool, and I get better with computers. Um, and yeah, it's pretty cool. I learned more about how to route the fans in RGB this time, because I didn't really know what I was doing before, and I blame that damn RGB controller and that motherboard not having an ARGB header, not even one, when my new one has like 3 or 4. It's fine. I learned things. I'm now smarter. I am smarter than I was before. Also, kind of ironically, the new PC is very like sherry themed. It's me. Why am I still on this screen? Let me go. Oh, remove. We don't need the drawing. We don't need this. This is gonna try and update itself. Whatever. I'm gonna let it. It won't take too long. And I'm gonna go to this one since I'm yapping. I'm a professional yapper. This is why you take the PC parts and to the local parts and whatnot shop. You mean in like a PC repair shop? Yeah, I've done that once when I had a problem and I borked my CPU. I I didn't realize. I got a new CPU before, but I didn't get a new motherboard. But it was the same chipset, so they physically fit together. But it turns out the motherboard did not support that generation of CPU. So I kept switching them back and forth because they weren't working. So I'd like put the new one in, it didn't work. I switched back to the old one, it works. I switched back to the new one. And then somehow I managed to fry the old CPU and the motherboard, but not the new CPU. And I don't know how that happened, but that was quite lucky because I was able to get them to find out what was wrong with it. They sold me a new motherboard for relatively cheap. So it's that one with no fucking ARGB headers. and then thankfully I didn't have to replace the CPU. The new CPU, I didn't have to do a warranty or anything, and it worked. And I have no idea how, but I got so lucky that I fried the old one and not the new one. But as I was saying, new computer is all like Sherry themed and all like Civil Labs themed, and the GPU that Vi gave me has like a screen on it. It's an LCD screen, and I've got it currently with the Civil Labs logo from No, it lost tracking. I was trying to like behind me. Look, it's there. It's behind me. You see it? It's got that on it, as well as the temperature of the GPU, and it looks very cool. It's very cool. But it's kind of ironic because I'm getting closer and closer to the new model. And the new model is not Civil Labs. There is lore, and it's not Civil Labs themed. For lore reasons. But that does mean that the new PC will be kind of outdated. a little. Not really. I'm still gonna have like the white and black and blue, but I've got a bit more magenta in there, and there's a bit more black compared to how there is now and stuff. So it's still fine, and I can swap the Civil Labs logo out. But it's very like this era themed, not the like cyberpunky next era themed. So, Hey guys, remember when this stream was about Dishonored? How have I done this twice in a row? We did this last Dishonored stream as well. We also just started yapping for like half an hour to an hour. Okay. Dishonored. Hello everyone. We're just starting stream if you couldn't tell. We're doing some Dishonored, the Brigmore Witches again. Last time, I believe we had just got to a mansion full of witches. And that's what we're going to be doing today. But also we went through like a sewer, and we kind of killed an old man, and he had like an entire factory hooked up to his like, I don't know, his pulse or something. So if he dies, it releases toxic gas. So we kind of gassed everyone there. And things are going great. All our friends want to betray us, so we're trying to get them not to betray us by being scary, which is always so reliable. You know, people never rise up against you if you're scary, right? If you're like threatening. Definitely not. But to be fair, he's not actually hurting any of them. Really, I mean, he kind of... We killed Billy, but like we're literally having people pretty openly discussing how they want to like get me killed, and then I just walk up to them like, I promise to go quietly. And it's like, oh shit, and then they just bamf out. They're all scaredy cats. They keep talking when they think I'm not there, and then when they realize I'm there, they just fucking teleport away, which is hilarious. But they're all kind of wanting to betray us. Also, Dowd is gonna die soon, so, you know, there's that. But he has one last thing that he wants to do before he dies, and that's find out who the hell Delilah is. So let's continue. So we got stuff and things. Have some things we bought. I don't know where the room is. Witch in a red jacket has information for me. And we have 0. Okay. So there's the shoreline. And there's a thing down there. Despite our boys trying to betray us, we can actually still summon them, which is nice. Hello. You're corrupted. What are you? Corrupted ones go to the bottom. That one was kind of cool. Oh. No, I'm good. I don't need that. Stop it. Hate those things. They do give loot though. Hello. Butler's note. The urn will have to stay here, Reggie, until we can return by boat and claim it. The master's key, however, will go with me, and since you're nowhere to be seen, I have little choice but to scale the rocks by the waterfall and make my escape cross-country. Leave me out to dry on this one, and I'll put a bullet through your skull. Why? That. Okay. So the waterfall. See if he actually escaped. And then we have an urn and some mana, which we can't use. That's not worth a lot for something I paid for, but I guess maybe there's more wherever you went. Oh, that's a person. Stop it. That's a dog. What did dog do? I don't want to kill the dog, I'm gonna be honest. But I don't have many non-lethal options. I might need to stick a non-lethal option in here. Let's be honest, we don't really use the... I was gonna say we don't use the choke dust. We don't really use the pistol, we don't really use the explosive bolts. But a lot of them would be useful. What? Am I being detected while I'm on this screen? I am. Shit. Hi, dog. Oh! Oh, you're not a real dog. Oh my god. Okay, we're not sleeping the dogs, unfortunately. Our stealth is already gone. Bad dog. Do these not ever stay down? Oh, okay, you gotta do that. Okay. I might save. I might load my save because we kind of fucked that up. So we actually don't need the non-lethal because they're not real dogs and they don't go to sleep. You gotta do things a different way. So let me...
Who might this be?
Firstly, get rid of the dog. Then her. Back over here.
Hiding.
Now she knows something's up. There we go. And we're good. I've left Draper's Warren though. Disable the grave switch? Where's the grave switch? Ooh, full sword. I want it. My sword kind of sucks. So I hear something. Anyway.
Everything is in
order, sir. Strange doings, sir. I killed a hound in the yard, and it got straight back up and went for me. I had to crush its skull to be sure.
I noticed. On the fence. Is that that's a Delilah statue. They did say there were some of those around. It's a little concerning though. Why's there a whale on? Honestly, this whole fence is full of holes. Look at all the spooky things, huh? Weird things that shoot at you. Weird freaky dogs that don't stay dead. Hello. Thank you. We got 2 runes. We could get pull. I do want shadow kill too though. Pull would give our boys pull because we have the level 2 of this though. I think I go for shadow kill. More things there. I'm curious if I get detected by the Delilah statues or if they just yap at me like before.
What might this be?
That's a weird way to walk. There we go.
And who might this be, I wonder?
No one. There's no one here. Don't be silly. Oh, you're kind of pretty, I'm sorry. Ooh, dog. Stop. Oh my god. The dog does not see there. Dog's strong. Dog's strong. Didn't deal that much damage. Didn't deal that much damage, but like, kind of fucked me up there. Hi. That works. So you can long range destroy the skull as well. I am curious. Will she just alert everyone if I go near the statue? I kind of want that works. I'm gonna run out of bolts. I have a lot, but like they're costing potentially like 2 bolts each. Oh. I assume that's a statue. I was gonna say she kind of looked like Granny Rags. Did it say something about the graves? What is it? Disable the grave what? Witch, wasn't it? Grave switch? That implies that there is a switch here that one can use to get down. Aha, this. Delilah had me disable the grave switch and put it in the garden shed. Okay, and the garden shed is back there. Understandable. Let's go try and talk to the Delilah statue, see if she says anything or alerts everyone. Okay. all you do? Yeah, okay, so a statue just like summons a person on. Okay, it does alert
Your
you.
bones will be ashes tonight.
Gotcha. So basically just don't talk to them, just avoid them. But they're not that bad, really. That's a way in. Got everything I want out of here? I guess so. How do I even get that? Oh, hello. I'm not going through there. Why is there just like an inaccessible coin? It seemed if I had pull I could do it. That has to be glass. Yeah, whatever. Hello. Nice flowers. Granny? Okay, what do you want, Granny? And how are you everywhere? Dreary waters, hissing daughters. Crack 3 green shells and steal their pearls. Turn the spigot and drink from the misery of a broken house. Gulp and swallow, follow, follow. 3 wet marbles down the gullet. You want me to get the pearls from those weird things, which I already got. Then drink from a spigot and swallow the pearls? I mean, I can do that. Why do you want me to eat the pearls, though? Are you good, Granny? I've got the pearls. But why do you want me to eat them? Water from the well. Okay, whereabouts is the well? Brigmore well? Not outside is. I'm glad that was there, because that would have hurt. I'm gonna check. So, hello, book. Lore.
Who is that?
Hi!
Take it off! Sisters, over here!
Ah!
Lay down, my love.
He's dying. Oh, there's a lot of... Okay, let's try this again. When did I save? Oh, further back than I wanted. Before or after I looted this? Okay, it's after. We're going up there. Right, it was before I talked to that. That's fun. Because we're just gonna not talk to it this time. Yeah. I don't know where the other woman came from. She's kind of was here suddenly. Okay, more, and then can't grab that. Go up there. Stealing. Extra stealing. Boom, bam. Granny, bam. Lore, lore. More lore. Amazing. Here. And then, is there a woman? There is. Okay. So she just sort of appears when you go in there. Gotcha. There's more out here now. Where'd they come from? Why is there so many? kind of are aware. Kind of. I think we can get her.
Where are
She stands still. Someone coming? Very like surprisingly close footsteps there. Okay, here's my
I'll
pen.
start a new pair of books. These
Okay, well she was aware, so now there's a body.
Come out, dear. It's no use.
Okay,
I'll
the
find
chip
you.
bolts. We can get one back.
You must be frightened.
There we go. Perfect. Where was that bolt? There you are. I'd like that back. I wonder if Delilah sees through, sees through pausing time. Hi Sherry, I have a cool avatar. How does it work? Which software do you use? I use VC Face right now. It hasn't had an update in a long time, and I don't know if I would necessarily recommend it because, as much as it does the job and it's quite good and it lets you use certain materials, you can't really do a lot of fancy stuff with it, from what I can tell. I think Warudo has more like compatibility, more stuff you can do, like throwing stuff or head mats or whatever, or not. Can't really do them very well with VC Face. So if you're just starting out or you're looking to switch to 3D, I maybe would recommend Warudo. I haven't tried it though, so I can't say for sure. I want to steal things, but I think she will see through pause time. I don't think she would see through pull, but I also don't really care that much about pull. Like, watch this. I bet you she will see. 100%. Oh, that's a skull. He doesn't see through it? That's interesting. Okay, never mind. Hush my mouth. She's done. Get rid of the body. There we go. Okay. Said about a well. I don't know if that's in here or it's there. Gotcha. So we're going through first. Ow. What's this stuff? Right here. Oh, okay, it leads to the back. That's fine. That's an interesting spot. He's teleporting. Void search. Ooh. Am I doing face/body tracking with webcam? I'm doing face tracking. As for whether I can use hands, give me 1 second. And VC face. Blah, blah, blah. Back leap motion and hands. Hello. I have hands. Yeah, you can see the tracking. It occasionally drops out. But I can do stuff. I can't really middle finger very well. Or that. I can sort of do things. I wouldn't rely on it for like something as advanced as like sign language. But I can wave and I can do things. I can also, kabam, I can have a gun. A gun is an option. So, you know, that is a possibility. And if I want to be fancy, I can like put my hand down and then pull out the gun and then do this. And then put it back down. And then, wow. And then you don't see it like appear. Sometimes it's a little funky though, as you can see. If I have my hands on the keyboard or the mouse, it occasionally ends up picking them up, like there. I kind of tried to get it to do it there, but you know, sometimes it'll do it when I don't want it to. Also, recent development. Sometimes if I put like this hand up, it'll track the other hand and go like this, for some reason. Occasionally there's just some little things like that, but for the most part, it's pretty good. Works pretty well. I actually got my leap motion used. It was about £100, which is not cheap by any means, but it's cheaper than they cost new. And yeah, I just got it used secondhand. It's slightly wonky, but I was able to adjust for that in the VC face settings. It's like tilted slightly. Like I don't know, the tracking for it, the camera is like tilted. So if this is straight across, it thinks it's sort of a bit like that, kind of wonky. But again, you can just change that in the software and it's not really an issue. I've not had much problems with it. I don't use it very often. It does use a bit more resources, which is probably fine now because I have a new PC. Yeah, it's like not a problem right now. But it can be a problem when you've got like OBS, VC Face, Leap Motion, Ultra Leap tracking software, plus a game. That can get a bit much. So I tend to just not have it on. Also, if I'm not using it, there's no reason to have it on and have it like occasionally just doing this in the middle of the game or like bugging out. If I like that, boom, you saw like the other hand come up for some reason. Or like every time I take a drink, you know, if I'm like, boom, drink, stop. And then that's what happens if I take a drink. Also, hi. A sub from Lively to Tommy, a gift sub. Hi, Lively. Hello, thank you for the gift sub. I'm sure Tommy will appreciate that. But hi, hello. Yeah, I'm turning this off now, just because I am not really using it other than to show it off. You're welcome and hi. Hello. I asked Mika about Phasmo yesterday because apparently she's traveling, and she said as long as she has Wi-Fi, she's still plans on doing it, even though she's been traveling like all day yesterday and like for a few hours today. So that's a thing. Anyway, I was playing Dishonored. Honestly, even when I tell Mika, it's like, it's okay, you don't have to like do Phasmo if you don't want to or if you're tired. She's like, no, me to Phasmo. We love Mika. Anyway, Dishonored. There is a weapon somewhere over there. She keeps teleporting, which is concerning because she could teleport on top of me. But the fun part is I can also teleport. There we go. That is a statue. That is a dog. I think if I go behind her, she won't see us. Which is weird, if she's a statue. She either shouldn't see us at all. Oh, hi. I'll just hide behind the Delilah statue, that seems legit. Lightly awkward. Well, that didn't work. I was hoping I could just like kill both. So apparently she's coming. So I might want to wait longer before going for the statue. Let's see. Where's she coming from? Go down this way. So Phasma on a stream and she was up and she asked if we was playing. She hasn't streamed in a while.